Terrific. Obviously, full credit to our group. To have the opportunity to move forward. Played a really tough team and that presented different challenges than the first round. And we adapted. I think throughout the series, you saw Tuukka get really dialed in, played tremendous hockey in Game 5 and 6. We had things get spread around our room pretty well. We had the big line step up in Game 5, and last night you saw the depth. Obviously, we got some puck luck as well last night, and found a way to win. But fortunate to be moving forward and proud of our group.
When you had contributions from guys that you went out and acquired at deadline, how does that also make you feel?
They're just one of 20 guys. At this point in time, they've integrated really well. From day one, our guys have been very welcoming. We did identify some areas that we felt we needed, and to their credit, they stepped in and provided those things. It's really a testament up and down our lineup, and guys that have gone in and out of the lineup. David Back is a great example of that. Noel gets hurt, Bax gets reinserted during the course of the series. Way Connor Clifton has stepped in. So really, if you talk to the guys in our room, and I know you guys do on a daily basis, it's just about, we've always had the next man up mentality, and it's a testament to the character and leadership of our group. Nothing definitive. Kevin's made some progress, so we're hopeful. He's got some tests that he's got and benchmarks that he has to before he gets back on the ice, but he's made some progress. So, we told him all along, the further we play, the more he has an opportunity to continue to work and get back in there. Hopefully we give him that opportunity.
So you're not ruling out?
No, not ruling him out.
You're not done yet, but you've gone one round further every year now. What does that feel like? And is that summertime?
Just looking for the finish line. We got a tough opponent in Carolina. There's a team that forechecked really hard. Their D are really active. I think since February they've been a team that found a way to start to score some goals. Their goaltending was excellent. We got a tough challenge in front of us. It's just the next step. We worry about Game 1 and move on. And I think our group overall has an even keel to it. Again, testament to our coaching staff and how well they prepare the players, and then of course to our players themselves.
What do you think of the back point?
It'll be later on this afternoon. I don't have any comment prior to.
How do you guys have sort of managed the defense, though? You have had some guys in and out, just sort of bringing together a group of whoever.
Well, again, it's a little bit, about the group. I don't think there's any one player. I mean, certainly certain players play in different situations, and we've had players step forward and play big minutes for us. Charlie and Brandon, certainly have assumed, with Kevin out and some situational minutes. But again, Connor's done a nice job there, and Grizzly's gone in and done a nice job playing, with a guy with Connor with limited experience. Z's, does what he does, on most nights at the top of his game in a leadership standpoint. Torrey, our power play is number 1 in the playoffs right now, is a big part of that. And really our transitional game in itself, the ability to break pucks out at this time of the year is so vitally important to the way you can find a way to generate offensively. You realize how small the margins are in terms of winning and the ice, the lack of space, 5-on-5, and what all teams try and do to you in the playoffs. And the play he makes there last night to give us and extend the lead is a big play. It's indicative of what he can bring to the table. So the group has done a nice job. We've stayed, knock on wood, relatively healthy, and hopefully it remains that way. Yeah, John's available. He's just dealing with stuff that makes it hard, but he's available.
David, great chief, like with these high pressure games, the heart rate doesn't really spike for him. Just why do you think that is? Just the even keel, that really it's frenzied.
Yeah, no matter what the stage is, David's pretty calm, cool, and collected. I think it helps Jake in a lot of those situations as well. He's taken him under his wing. He has not cared about who's been the other person he's had an opportunity to play with. He's just embraced. I think he's had a real healthy outlook on the course of the year. I think he tweaked things a little bit this summer to be in the shape and really direction of the league is headed in. And, as I said earlier, when the playoffs started, I think he's been a bit of an unsung hero for us throughout the course of the season. Other guys may get front lines and they deserve their accolades. I just read a stat that, Bergeron's been on the ice for 4, even strength goals in the course of the playoffs and in pretty significant matchups against, But David does a lot of things that are important for our hockey club, and he gives us balance, and that's where going to get a player like Coyle, and obviously having Sean come back into our lineup, it slots things accordingly. But, Kretsch rises to the occasion. He certainly does. He likes the big moments.
You mentioned adjusting to a different opponent, Toronto, Columbus. Did you feel that it took you guys a little bit of time to do that? Day one, do you think you guys?
I think you just have to be respectful of the opponent. They were rested. They had, every opponent scouts and has game plans, and a lot of times it comes down to the execution and the will part of it. Never really any secrets by the time you get deep into a series, what other teams are trying to do, and they make some adjustments as well. They tweak their lines going back in, the third period in Game 5, and then came out in Game 6 in the same way. Our coaches, people behind the scenes, try and give as much information as we possibly can. How do you think a team's going to play against you? Then it's a matter of the players, going out and figuring a way, and it comes down to those one-on-one situations and being able to play the way you want to. And I think that's part of Butch's mentality is let's go out and set our own standard and try and play to it.
So Toronto or Columbus is a pretty big difference the way Columbus to Carolina. How do you feel?
Yeah, I think there are going to be some unique challenges, as I mentioned. A strong forechecking team. They get on you and they get back above the puck. Their back pressure is good. Their goaltending has been excellent. As I mentioned, their shooting percentage, took a big jump from February on to be able to score some goals and have some confidence as a result of it. I think they're a reflection of their coach and how he approaches things in his own lifestyle, and I think they've got some juice. So we're gonna have to be at our best. I've said that before, and it's not going to change going forward. I think Butch has evolved a lot in that regard. I think that all coaches have hunches and gut feelings. I think he does a good job of getting information from the people around him, absorbing it, and then making a real informed decision as opposed to just a reactionary decision. I think his game decisions and his adjustments and that such is a real strong suit of Bruce, and knowing what his players need to do in the course of a game to get them at their best and get them at their level. Obviously, we all like to start on time, and that's a well-known phrase for a lot of coaches, and that's important. I think that we did a really good job in this series, and it played out accordingly. The team that scored first generally wins a lot of the games at this time of the year. But again, I think it's a continuation of his own, gaining confidence and experience, as an NHL coach.
The protective netting goal, do you remember what you were thinking at the time, and do you have any proposal?
I'm sure it'll be discussed. I've had discussions at length as to, I certainly know the rule, the genesis, the interpretation, was correct. But they made a mistake, let's be honest, and now we have to figure out whether or not we can find the appropriate way to correct things that could be or avoidable situations.
Is it real simple though? Is it like goes in the net, you just have a face-off and make it reviewable, and then you can challenge it?
Yeah, again, the genesis of and the discussions that took place were a little bit in line with what happens in an offside. How far do you roll it back and such? And I would ask the question, if it goes off the net and the other team goes down and score, do you take the goal away?
Yeah.
So, well, that's your opinion. And again, that's, you're well, yeah, technically, yes. And if the netting weren't there, then we wouldn't be having the conversation, but it is there. So yes, there are some nuances in how the game is affected as a result of that. I don't think it's as clear cut as it may seem in the moment when 19,000 people see it at the right time. And unfortunately 4 people don't, but mistakes happen and we understand it. I think that I walked out of the game, to be honest with your question, Fluto, is that I'm thankful it didn't affect the outcome of the game.
Lots being
crispy? Is that the word that I've heard?
One word answers was, skating off, on the ice afterwards, in the locker room. Not being made, what do you think?
It's something we'll address. We always do. We talk to all of our players when we have situations that arise and that become a little more public than we would like them. We'll address it accordingly. Brad has obligations, to you and the media in a respectful manner and being professional, and we'll address it. And so does, to be honest with you, so does the media. In the same light. And I would ask for the same, on both sides.
Take two more, or two.
You've got two defensemen in the playoffs that never played the playoffs before. One guy playing for the second time. I don't even know if you call Charlie like veteran. How unique is it to pull this off and get this far with back?
I think it's just been a progression from our group. Where we were. I think Matt was referencing where they were in the steps they've taken. It's a leadership group that has been with them in every step of that journey. And now they're in the moment. I don't think they care whether or not they've played games before. To tell you the honest truth, they're preparing to play, their next opponent and do what they do. So I think our coaches have embraced that, and then the players have themselves. But it's the sum of the what we've been trying to accomplish, that allows, I think, the player, and then obviously the individual. I mean, you can't take anything away from the players themselves. They're the ones that are able to go out and rise to the occasion.